Yo, what up? This your boy Markuann, aka Junie Bird, giving a big shout out to all hip hop.
Yo, what's going on, world? It's your man Chuck Creekmer, aka Jigsaw, and I'm here with one of my friends, one of my bros, one of my homies, Markuann Smith, the creator of Godfather of Harlem and an all-around dope individual. What's going on, bruh?
Thanks, man. You
Yeah,
started 2023 with a smile on my
yeah,
face, baby.
yeah, man. That's how we got to do it now,
Nah,
man.
that's love, and I can really say, in this fickle industry that we work in, I can really say that you're one of my friends and not
Word.
just an associate. So
Yeah,
I appreciate it, Chuck.
yeah, definitely. Yo, man, I'm excited, man. We got another season coming up of Godfather Harlem season 3. What, man, in the era of binge watching, this is one show I look forward to every week, man. Like I can't wait for the next one. And I'm glad that it's not bingeable because I can actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it was, it would be over in like a night.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Talk about it.
Well, I think one of the reasons that we didn't want to make it bingeable is because we wanted to give the element of surprise every Sunday.
Right,
We want you to be able to sit down with your family and
Mhm.
enjoy dope content
right,
because it's not a quick fix.
yeah,
It's not a microwave dinner.
right,
It's a rotisserie meal.
right, right, right,
We want to pressure cook it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So we want you to sit down with your loved ones, with your children, with the elders, and sit down and look forward to watching Godfather Harlem, just like you look forward to watching the Cosby Show growing up, right?
yeah.
Everybody wanted to sit down and make it an experience. So that's one of the reasons why we didn't want to make it bingeable, so you can just sit down and get a fix, and then that's it.
Yeah.
When you can sit down and look forward to it every Sunday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, The Wire and stuff like that used to
Oh
come
yeah,
on.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So you always look forward to it. So what's look? What's the look this season? What can we look forward to?
Oh man, it's so many arcs. There's an A story, B story, and C story, and they all intertwine. One of the main catalysts of this season is Malcolm's story.
Mm-hmm.
Him going back to Mecca and finding out that every Muslim is not African American. You have
Mhm.
blonde hair, blue eyed Muslims, and
Right.
coming back from Mecca with a different outlook on life and
Mhm.
view on his beliefs.
Wow.
So that's going to be like very amazing. And then dealing with the different facets of the NYPD, the CIA, the FBI,
Wow.
and things of those forces that were trying to take Bumpy
Mm-hmm.
and a new character by the name of Joe Colombo down.
Okay. Wow. And you don't hear about that in relationship to Bumpy. You hear about that with Martin, Malcolm, and people like that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of going to be educational too.
Yeah, I call it edutainment.
Mhm.
Where it's educational and entertaining at the same time.
Mhm.
And that's what we wanted to do in the writers' room. The characters, developing the characters, and just making it so much different than anything else that you're watching on TV right now.
Yeah.
So what you'll see is like season 2, you saw the aspects of the French Connection.
Mm-hmm.
This season, you're gonna see about the underground Cuban mafia.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're dealing with different demographics,
Mm-hmm.
different characters within the city, whether it's in Spanish Harlem,
Right.
whether you're in East Harlem with the Italians, or whether you're in Central Harlem
Mhm.
with Bumpy.
Right. Sometimes they refer to it as a black show, but it really has a lot of different cultures as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. That's one of the questions I still try to wonder. Why is it a black show? Because it has the word Harlem in it.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to be a very diverse cast, a very diverse white writers room.
Right.
We have just as much African Americans on the show as we have Italian Americans,
Mm-hmm.
as we have Latino Americans that are
Mhm.
on the show, and Latino Americans that are on the show. So, it's not just a black show. It's a show that we want everyone to enjoy, whether you're in Oklahoma
Mm-hmm.
or you're in New York City,
Yeah.
or you're in San Francisco. It's a
Yeah.
show for everyone. It's just not just an African American show.
Yeah.
It deals with a lot of African American topics, of course,
Right.
but that's what was happening in the 60s at that time.
Right. It's funny you mentioned Oklahoma. One of my favorite shows now is with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, Tulsa King.
King.
Yeah, what's so funny? Big shout out to Terrence Winter. I actually got a chance to politic with him, and we were supposed to work together on a certain project. But at the time, he was working on a Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. So big shout out to Paramount Plus. I heard they're doing big things over there with Yellowstone and a whole bunch of other projects.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, Forrest Whitaker is one of our greats, you know, one of the greats, you know. And I never get tired of seeing him as an actor, but also in this role. How is it working with him?
Man, I'm not just saying that working with Forrest just because he's like a big brother to me, man, but he's one of the most humblest, kindest individuals I know. And it goes outside of just acting. You know, Forrest has his Whitaker Peace Initiative conflict resolution, you know, with dealing with the kids in the car and the child soldiers, and he's really trying to make a change in the world. And that to me is the most honorable thing ever. You know what I'm saying? More than just him being an Academy Award winning actor. But on set, man, he's a total professional. He makes sure that you're comfortable in your scenes, always asks if you're okay. And I mean, he's a beast with what he does.
Was there any difference in the process this time? You know, before we had COVID and there was a lot going on there. What about this season?
This season, you know, we still had our COVID protocols, taking tests Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I think that I would say that we got kind of like a hand on COVID and knew what COVID was about, and it wasn't a mystery anymore. We were able to kind of like interact a little bit better than it was during COVID. You know, a writer's room by Zoom is not the same as a writer's room in person. You know, so we were able to have a writer's room in person. You know, actors were able to interact with each other a little bit more. You know, so this season was definitely a little bit easier than season 2, because season 2, you know, a lot of the stuff that was written, and if it looked like, oh, we will be in close proximity of each other in that scene, they would have to rewrite the scene to make sure that it's, you know, fits the COVID protocol.
Got you. Is Giancarlo Esposito in this one?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I just spoke to Giancarlo. Giancarlo is my brother. I mean, check out Kaleidoscope on Netflix. Giancarlo is an excellent thespian, man. He's taught me a lot with my acting personally. And Giancarlo is just a beast, man. To be able to bring different characters to life, from playing Gus to Adam Clayton Powell to the Mandalorian to Kaleidoscope, his range is like is awesome.
It's crazy. Oh man, now I'm not gonna run through the whole cast, but what about yourself as an actor, man? When did you start acting? I don't think I ever got that out of you. Like when you started acting.
I started acting when I was, say, about 14.
Okay.
My brother, you know, once again, my brother's father MC, right? So he was into music.
Yeah.
And I was into movies, the arts. And that's kind of what saved me. Like growing up in Far Rockaway, we lived on the inlet with nothing but housing projects, right? So imagine a kid growing up and going to McDonald's, you may see your enemy from another building, or you want to go order some a 6-piece of chicken, and you run into somebody from another project. So what I did was, you know, I used to stay at home and just close the door and just drown out all of that white noise. And watch movies.
Okay.
And movies, you tend to be able to be whoever you are. You can become anything. You could be make-believe. You could be a secret agent if you want to. You know, you could be a gangster. So I started watching movies like On the Waterfront, Rebel Without a Cause, Raging Bull. A lot of different factors. And one of my favorite movies was Once Upon a Time in America by Sergio Leone.
Okay.
And, you know, the characters like Noodles, and I started really getting into like what it was to become an actor. So, you know, going out to summer stock and doing little neighborhood plays and things of that, it just kept me out of trouble. And my first role I was ever in was Juice. And that's what, you know, the late Tupac Shakur gave me an opportunity, because we were both roadies on the road. Pac was a roadie for Digital Underground. I was a roadie for my brother. Tretch was a roadie for Latifah. Like, we were just kids just trying to get the American dream by any means necessary, right? And being on that set, I just got addicted.
Mm.
Whether it was being a PA or learning how to become a grip to a best boy to a gaffer, these are all the things I just love being on the set. I was just addicted to being on set.
Yeah, I remember you invited me to the set
Yeah.
of Godfather of Harlem, but
Yeah.
it was like 4 a.m. or 5
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah.
I was like, bruh. I regret that, by the way,
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, it's not for the faint of heart, man. We deal with all the elements,
yeah,
whether it's 99.9 degrees outside
yeah,
to -10 below.
right,
I mean, we've shot in the snow, we've shot in the rain,
yeah.
we've shot when it's so hot outside. You just like, I want to take this itchy wool sweater that's 60s period appropriate off my back,
right,
because I'm itchy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Sarah Lux with your wonderful costumes that you've done. But
but
yeah,
they are timeline appropriate.
timeline appropriate.
Mhm.
You know, shoes a little bit more pointier back then.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you got to wear your pants above your belly button back
Right,
then. You know,
right.
so yeah, I mean, it's not for the faint of heart,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
Definitely. You know, we've talked about this before, but can you ever talk about that period of time enough? I don't think we can. You know, running around with Tupac, Tretch, even the late Shock G.
yeah.
What was that like for you? And your brother, even your brother. I mean, your brother, a lot of people may not fully remember how popular he was, how much of a hit maker Father
Yeah.
MC was. You know, what was that? You said by any means. You know,
Yeah.
and that's a special term. You know, reserved for a certain type of go-getter.
Well, I can tell you this, right? I came up not in the, I would say, the golden era of hip hop, but I was in between purgatory states. That little funny nook in hip hop I grew up in, and I remember us going to the New Music Seminar
Mm-hmm.
or the Jack the Rapper,
Mm-hmm.
slinging CDs like it was drugs.
Yeah.
Please listen to my demo.
Right.
Please listen to my demo.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Tretch with his OPP stickers
Mhm.
outside of Madison Square Garden.
Right.
And when my brother got his deal with Andre Harrell, it was just like, wow. First, we went from just using anybody's studio to make a hit to him winning a contest at a roller skating rink
Mm-hmm.
to getting a deal with Andre Harrell to watching on Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box
Mm-hmm.
treat him like they want to be treated.
Right.
You know, I remember the times of going to Howie T's basement.
And
his wife-
Hitman Howie T.
Yeah, and his wife, Lady Kazan, and Little Sean, and all those guys. You know, so hip hop was just, it was fun to me back then. It wasn't the Rico squad coming for you or
Right.
anything like that. You know,
Right.
it was everybody was just kids that was trying to make it out their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So I remember my first tour was with Candyman, Troop, High Five, Second to None, AMG. You know, these are cats that I just met. Like, you know, DJ Quick was from the West Coast.
Yeah.
I remember him driving a Winnebago with Second to None and AMG, them
Right.
touring.
Yeah.
And EPMD,
Right.
you know, with big shout out to Bernard Alexander when Bernard was dancing.
Right.
You know
right,
what I'm saying,
right.
for EPMD. Like,
Wow.
that's how far I go back into what hip hop was. I was on the era when they were getting rid of 1200s and turning into DAT tapes.
Right.
You know, so now DATs have become Seratos and
Mm-hmm.
and whatever. So hip hop was fun, man. The music was dope when it was a story behind everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I miss about hip hop from
Yeah.
back then. You know, and I got a chance to go to the China Club with Russell Simmons. You know,
Right.
I got a chance to hang out with Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
You know, and be in a room and watch his creative mind say, you know, Uptown is about being sexy
Mm-hmm.
and fly. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we were considered at that
Yeah.
time. You know, Def Jam was more on that street element. We
Yeah.
were more like, you know, champagne popping bubbles. You
Mhm.
know, so yeah, music was so fly back then, man.
Yeah.
And this is the 50 years of hip hop, so I'm glad to be here sitting down talking to you during this time.
Yeah. Me too. Yo, did you ever try to rap?
Yeah, I did, man.
When you gonna play us some of your songs?
Oh man, I don't even want to get. I don't even want the Sandman to open the door and just. No, but seriously, I got influenced by people like Redhead Kingpin. My
Do the
brother,
right thing.
Do the Right Thing. My brother Father, and it's so crazy. I remember before RZA became the RZA, it was "Ooh I Love You, Rakim," right? And then the Jizza had "Girl Come Do Me," right? So I was into the R&B,
Okay.
R&B rap type of feel.
Yeah.
You know, I had to deal with Whitney Houston's label,
Really? Get out of here.
Nippy Inc.
Get out of
That's
here.
when Whitney had a label deal with Merlin Bob and Sylvia Rowan over at Elektra Records.
Oh,
So
shoot, that's crazy.
it was a few artists on there. It was a group called Sunday. It was myself. They also had a girl named Shauna. I believe her name is Shauna. She was on the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack.
Okay.
So they were grooming her to be the next Whitney.
Gotcha.
And that was when Robin Crawford was running her label. So, you know, I come from a line of music, but acting was like my passion,
Gotcha.
you know, at the time.
Nice, nice. Did you ever meet Whitney?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Amazing person. I met her when she had a house in Jersey. I met Bobby, Robin Crawford. I mean, Whitney was really hands-on with her her business, you know, so we did interact with her, you know, a few times. My cousin Harold Frazier actually produced a couple of records with him and Steve Rhythm.
Wow.
So, you know, yeah, Whitney was very hands-on, very amazing person.
Yeah. On a side note, I recently saw the Whitney
I did too as well. I know a producer actually on that actual project, and I went out there to support him when it came out in December. Yeah, I saw it actually twice.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it actually. Yeah, I thought it was well done. Well done. So, moving forward just a little bit. The soundtrack of Godfather of Harlem season 3. What can we expect from this?
Another some more Swizz Beatz magic. Put it like that.
Okay, Swizz.
I had to think about how could I even make it as grandeur as it is. Swizz is an amazing person.
Yeah.
He's like Dr. Frankenstein, man. His relationships with all these artists and how he's able to put these artists together and match them and put them so synchronized into the beat of whatever he's doing. You know what I'm saying? It's dope. I watched Swizz operate from season 1 to season 3, and I'm glad I got an opportunity to be able to call him a friend and work with him and Spivvy and Mo over there. I mean, he's an amazing person, man. He's the actual one that we got an Emmy for the title track, Just in Case, with the Swizz did with Rick Ross and DMX. So big shout out to Swizz Beatz, man, for bringing life to this show, and the stuff that he's doing for season 3 is even more amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we got Snoop Dogg on here. We have I believe G Herbo was on here. We have I believe I don't want to tell you anymore, man. Just go get the soundtrack.
Okay.
Season 3.
You can give us the exclusives, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jadakiss is on there too.
Oh, of course. You gotta have
episode 1. Watch Jadakiss.
You gotta have Jadakiss. Yeah. In fact, it's crazy. I was listening to the greatest hits of Jadakiss. I mean, somebody just put it together.
Okay.
And there was a random song that I had never heard before. So I Shazammed it and popped up, and it's Swizz and Jada.
Oh yeah.
Jada rapping, Swizz on the hook. I was like,
yeah.
It was a song I'd heard before, but forgot.
Swizz is dope. I mean, for even Swizz to put that record together, that's one of my favorite records on season 2 with Ronald Osley. If I Should Die Tonight.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that record, that shit gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Right.
You know, because it's so meaningful on what's happening in the world today.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Swizz. So let's switch gears just a little bit. You mentioned hip hop turning 50. What are your sort of thoughts on the culture right now? Like, you know, you've been in the game a pretty long time, and you've seen a lot.
Yeah.
You know, on different levels of the game. That's a unique space to be in.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, you know, a lot of people, you have to be ready to embrace hip hop in every facet, regardless if you're hearing a Simba, right? That's one of my favorite artists right now, or King Los, who's family, or listening to like a Young Thug, you know, or a Young Dolph, or you know, there's room for everyone to express themselves. You don't have to just be a Chance the Rapper. You know, there's so many people out here. I just listened to this guy by the name of Joe Frog. He's from Harlem, and a friend of mine's named Bar put me onto it, and I was like, wow, this kid is dope. Another kid by the name of Shooter that was on Godfather of Harlem soundtrack. I was like, yo, this kid is amazing. You
Yeah.
know, Sean Cross. You know,
Yeah.
these are guys that just open up my mind to different facets of just hip hop. You know, and it's just like when we were growing up. I mean, I didn't grow up around the feathers and the Indian and the leather pants and stuff like that and the hip hop, you know. But I respected that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hip hop has just changed. It's constantly evolution is constantly changing.
Yeah, definitely. Who did you idolize? Who was your favorite MC as a young person?
Oh, as a young person growing up, man, I loved Slick Rick. I loved Rakim. I loved Dana Dane. You know, I loved Kane.
Yeah.
I loved anybody that was able to tell stories. You know, I used to just turn on Mr. Magic, and anytime you could just turn the lights off in your room and just close your eyes and listen to somebody rap and just get that visualized in your head what they're saying, I was like, wow. You know, I'm picturing that I'm actually there. It's like a movie happening through words.
Yeah, I always tell people, you know, I moved to New York, and when I got here, I was ready.
Yeah.
Because it was so visual. It got you prepared in however, you know, whatever.
And even Ice-T, man. 6 o'clock.
6 in the morning, police at my door. Yeah.
Wow, I was just like, so listening to that, I knew what gangbanging in LA really was before I actually went out there and I actually visualized and saw it for myself.
Yeah.
Listen to Schoolie D, you know, and EST, you know, all these, like, you know, I love how hip hop is just evolving, and every region has their own different style. From Philly to Atlanta to California to the Midwest, you know, to Chicago, you know, to Miami, we all have our different vibe of telling stories.
Yeah. What you mentioned earlier, the RICO and all that.
Yeah.
You know, we had sort of like in the 2000s the hip hop police, and that was a big thing. But now it seems like it's completely different. And to me, the rules from the rapper's perspective has changed too. So the rappers are saying and doing more than back in the day.
Yeah.
At least you were smart enough to not rap about actuals.
I mean, it's almost like art imitating life now. And who do you fault? If you're out there talking about, I'm gonna go shoot somebody in the head, and that actually happens, who do you fault?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, let's take ownership of what we do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that using lyrics is the best thing, because you're supposed to have some type of artist expression and creation freely in your head to write whatever you want to write. But if those stories actually come through, imagine reading a fucking Stephen King novel about his pets coming alive in his backyard, and then he looks out the window when the pets come alive. You're like, what the, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we're putting ourselves in these sticky situations.
Right.
And then you like free the G. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
that's
crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they can't handle the time. Can't handle the time, don't do the crime. OGs told me that back in the days. So now everybody wants to snitch. To me, that means, sorry, nigga, I'm trying to come home. I heard that somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So heard that somewhere.
Right.
And you know, there's not too many people that are really loyal that stand on their 10 and say, you know what, this is what I did. I'm gonna take ownership of what I did, and that's what it is. Men, we don't make excuses. If you go sell drugs, just say, man, I'm doing it because I want to sell drugs. I'm not just doing it to feed my family. I want to just sell drugs because I don't want to get a 9 to 5. I know people that went to the Army Reserve, has 3 jobs, working at McDonald's, Burger King, and White Castle to support their family, and they're not selling drugs. You feel what I'm saying? So I think it's just about us taking ownership of what we do.
Random question. A few. It's been probably a couple of years now. They were talking about. I was talking to Father about an Uptown show. He was, you know, he had a lot to say.
I don't know what he said, so you might have to
flash back.
You might have to flash back.
But he, you know, wanted to, let's just say, make sure it was accurate and that he was represented.
No, I mean, let me tell you something. I can say this, right? I know what we went through. I know what my brother went through. My brother was one of the artists at the time a gold record was platinum.
Yeah, right.
So he kept the lights on in Uptown, right? So you can't write him out of history.
Right. Right.
Father was a reason that a lot of people had their opportunities. I'm not saying that he made these individuals, but he allowed them to use their platform to be heard, right?
Yeah, Mary was on.
Mary J. Blige was allowed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do for you,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Jodeci was allowed.
Yeah.
Treat them like they want to be treated,
Right.
right? Even Intro, and those are my
Mhm.
those are all my peoples. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
he gave them an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, he could have been an artist that said, "No, I don't want Mary J. Blige on it. I want somebody else on it. I don't want Jodeci on it. I want somebody else on it."
Yeah.
You know, that was part of his budget.
Right.
So I understand what he means, that he wants the accurate portrayal of Uptown, and it's just not just for him; it's for everyone up there.
Yeah.
We can't forget about Finessence and Quest, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I used to love them, by the way.
You can't forget about Groove Beat Chill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there are other artists out there that were part of that whole Uptown movement that bled and sweat Uptown to the day that we're here right now.
Yeah.
You know, so if that's what he said on that replay, because I didn't see this, you know, I think this is what he's trying to say.
Yeah. So that's what's up. Do you have any other projects you are working on? Or, you know?
Absolutely, man. I have a project that I'm working on with a friend of mine by the name of Corey Pegues. If you know Corey Pegues, he was the police officer that used to sell drugs with the Supreme Team. And when he decided to change his life, he became a deputy inspector of New York, one of the highest ranked black police officers. And after he did the Combat Jack show, they realized, you know, from a book that he had written, a best-selling novel called Once a Cop, that he was once in the streets as a hustler.
Yeah.
And Ray Kelly and the rest of the NYPD tried to wipe him out of history, taking his badge and his stripes, his pension, everything. So I'm doing a project with him, a scripted project with him and a friend of mine by the name of Ed Bonero, who created Criminal Minds and Third Watch, and George Tillman and Bob Title, who did Mudbound and The Hate You Give.
Wow.
So, you know, we're looking for that to go. And I'm doing another project with a big shout out to a friend of mine's 19, who just did the Nipsey Hussle documentary. That's amazing. I can't wait till you guys see it. It's called Hustle. But we have a project that we're doing with Joe Morton.
Okay.
From Brother from Another Planet.
Another thespian.
Yeah. Brother from Another Planet, Scandal, and Matt Carnahan, who created House of Lies.
Okay.
You know, the show that with Don Cheadle in it.
Yeah, I used to love that show.
And a friend of mine's Chris Jenkins and Dominic Taylor. You know, so I'm cooking. I'm cooking. You know, and also doing working with a special project about books that everybody read back in the days. I don't really want to say the name yet, but myself and a couple of good friends got something cooking right now that's going to be amazing. I think I'm gonna whisper in your ear, man, after this. Man.
Okay, definitely. That's what's up, man. Glad to hear. It's funny because, you know, I hear, I'm not gonna mention the company. You know, we've talked about it. Yeah. But, you know, it's good to see brothers, you know, ascending. Despite
I see one thing about me, man. I'm a straight up 6-shooter Scorpio Harlem Queens dude, and I give props when props is deserved, but I also like to check people where it's at, you know. And we worked at a company, Black Entertainment Television. That's how we met. And I remember when you started All Hip Hop and they had a problem with that. And I remember coming in your office and you was like, man, these guys is trying to fire me because they found out that I'm trying to be great.
Right.
How are you going to let somebody go from trying to be great? Yeah. Like, if you keep working for someone else, you'll never be able to achieve your dreams.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, you could chase your passion or you could chase your pension. It's up to you. Yeah. I decided to chase my passion. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's why you're sitting there watching Godfather of Harlem. It wasn't easy for me. Yeah. You decided to chase your passion. That's why you're on your 25th anniversary of All Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, working at Black Entertainment Television, I learned a lot. Some were good. I met a lot of good folks there. You know, everybody wasn't bad, but everything wasn't good, you know? Yeah. So this is just to tell people, man, it sounds cliche, but if you dream it, you could definitely achieve it. Yeah. Put your mind to it.
Definitely. Speaking of, All Hip Hop's 25th, man. Yeah. You know, you were one of the people at the
Yeah.
beginning. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gave me my first opportunity, my first hosting gig. You know, we were, you know, I was green. I learned how to interview, how to talk to folks, and you gave me the first opportunity to just be involved with All Hip Hop and the growth of All Hip Hop, from All Hip Hop Weekend
Yeah.
to it was just an amazing thing, man. And just to see you here 25 years later, I mean, that's dope, man. I'm looking up on TV. I see my man on Fox 5, on CNN. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this is really good, man.
Yeah.
You know. So, man, like once again, I'll give you and Greg a big shout out, man, from where you at right now, man.
Yeah, we working, man. We cooking too. We got a real special project that
Yeah.
we're working on for the 25th,
Okay.
and a bunch of shows and everything. So I'll keep you tapped.
You need to
glued
bring back all your prior hosts.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
fly,
we,
right?
we working on something,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Trust
yeah,
me.
yeah,
we
yeah.
just looking at the right partnerships to
absolutely.
make it classy. You know,
That's
after
right.
Jay-Z and The Rock did their thing,
Yeah.
we like, okay, so they set the bar real high.
Yep.
We ain't going that high,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
we gonna do
Why
something.
not? I mean, why
We'll
not, man?
We'll figure out how far we can go with it. It's gonna
Yeah.
be dope. It's gonna be
To
dope. though.
talk to God, you might have to climb
True.
up a ladder, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
know
a
what I'm saying?
fact.
So
Yeah.
it's all good.
That's a fact. Yo, anything else you want to tell us about Godfather of Harlem?
I mean, Godfather of Harlem, just stay tuned for a roller coaster, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the music is amazing. You know, you're dealing with the different cultures. You're gonna have heavily Latin influenced music.
Okay.
You know, we have some new characters in there, from Wild Bill to
Okay.
Joe Colombo to my man Yul Vasquez. He plays a character. You'll see,
Okay.
you know, a real crazy Cuban gangster.
Okay.
You know, and you know, this is a show that it's been a passion for me, and just to see that it's on its third season and the accolades that we're getting and where we at with it, and it's not just regional, it's national and it's international. People love it in Africa, people love it in the UK, in the Middle East. You know, Godfather of Harlem is something that I never thought in a million years would have been as big as it is right now.
Yeah. Man, congratulations. Dreams do come true, man.
Yeah.
So here's to 3 more seasons and even more if we can get there.
We're gonna get there, you know, with the brain of Chris Brancato, Paul Eckstein, and my partner Jim Atchison and Nina Yang Benjovi. Yo, I know that we, as a team, we were able to get this far. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, definitely. Salute.
Salute, brother.